Whenever somebody has a child, the people around them often wants to help them in any way that they can. And one of the ways that they do this is giving them advices on how to raise the child and what to do and what not to do and all this stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of these advices that are given to us are mostly myths. So today we'll be covering 7 baby myths, things which were handed down from our great grandparents to our grandparents to our parents and finally to us, and exactly why these are actually myths and not supposed to be followed by anyone. Hi, welcome to Curry Soup, where we cover medical topics and make it so simple that anyone can understand them. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the topic. Myth number 1: never wake a sleeping baby up. A lot of us have heard this before. When the baby is sleeping, don't go wake the baby up. Then it'll be very difficult to put the baby back to sleep. The baby will keep crying, will be cranky. This is a myth, especially in the early years of the baby when the baby is just a few months old, because earlier on the baby needs very frequent feeding. Usually 3 hourly feeding, meaning every 3 hours the mother has to feed the baby. And this feeding is super important for the baby. So in the very first few weeks of the baby's life, it's very important that you actually shake the baby a bit, wake the baby up, and then feed the baby every 3 hours. Especially if your baby is sleeping more than 3.5 hours. It's very important to wake the baby up and feed the baby. It's perfectly okay to allow your baby to sleep longer as the baby gets older, but at the early part, please do wake your baby up. Don't believe this stuff. You can wake a sleeping baby up. Myth number 2: lullabies help babies sleep. I personally am a victim to this myth as well. Lullabies do not help your baby sleep, especially if your baby is like my son. Even the slightest sound would wake him up. But then, playing soothing songs or even singing to the baby is a very good way of calming the baby down, meaning relaxing the baby so that you can induce a more happier sleeping state. But then, lullaby by itself does not help a baby sleep. If you don't trust me, go try singing beside your sleeping baby. Myth number 3: naps aren't really necessary. This is super wrong because naps are very important to growing babies. I know of some parents who actually force the baby up, keep the baby up the whole day, giving them activities to do and everything, just so that the baby will sleep throughout the night. Now this is very bad, because the longer you keep your baby up, the baby is going to get more cranky and more angry, and you're not going to have any fun taking care of an angry, cranky baby. On top of that, having at least 1 session of nap a day helps your baby learn better, helps them control their behavior better, help them fall asleep better, and also helps with their emotional development. Myth number 4: certain toys help make your baby smarter. Now, this is okay if you are someone who sells toys for a living and you want to say this out loud, yeah? But then if you're not someone who's profiting from selling toys, this is totally a myth. Because try chucking your baby with a bunch of blocks and toys, nothing's going to happen. The baby's just going to be goo gagaing the whole day. What makes a child smarter is the interaction, meaning the parent must be present there, the toy and the baby. So whenever this happens and you're talking to the baby like, oh wow, look at that, that's a black ball. Oh, look at that, that's a blue cube. Now, the tone I'm using is called parentese. It's not baby talk, or you can even call it baby talk, I guess. But the thing is, when you talk like this, when you talk to a baby like a baby, with the high pitch and the high tone and the musical voice and everything, your conversation becomes much more engaging and more interesting for the baby. And when anything is more engaging and interesting, we learn much better and much faster. Myth number 5: baby walkers help babies walk faster. Now, this is a complete myth, and please do not buy a walker for your child, because the best course of action for a baby is for the baby to stand up by himself. That means he's developing the muscles by himself. If you buy a walker for your baby, you're not allowing your baby's muscles to develop naturally. And research has shown that those babies without walker actually start walking much earlier than those babies with walkers. On top of this, giving a child who's not ready walker also increases the risk of the child reaching things which the child is not supposed to reach, like hot stove, boiling water, and also there's a high risk of the child falling down the stairs. Myth number 6: teething can cause fever. We've all heard this. Whenever the child is sick, whenever the child is grumpy, we often assume that the child is teething. That's why the child is having a fever. Whenever your child is teething, your child will be eating much lesser. Your child might even be a bit more grumpy. But then never will your child have fever, flu, runny nose, cough, or vomiting. All these are signs of infection. So if your child is having a fever, please do get your child to a clinic and get the proper treatment. And finally, myth number 7, classical music makes your child smarter. Now, yeah, I've been victim to this myth as well. Again, the interaction between the child and the caregiver is what develops the child's brain much faster. Not music, not toys. So, whenever you're talking to the child with real words, with expression, with delight, and you respond to your baby is going to be absorbing information much faster. And this will help the language and social development for your child. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned as much as possible from this video. If you found this video to be valuable in the least, please do share it with your friends and family members, especially your friends who have children like new parents. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and please do click the bell icon because YouTube's algorithm is changing all the time and we want to make sure all the good information we are providing comes and reach you. And until the next informative video in anything you do, please do your best and be the best version of yourself. Bye-bye.